much like what some of the other teams were thinking about, we wanted to tackle the big problem of food waste. So we all know that we have a tendency to put things in our fridge, maybe it's leftovers, and they drift to the back, and it's not really clear when something was put in there, or if it's still good for you, or what have you. And this is a problem that is not just in your own home. This is something that cities might want to tackle on a larger scale with their interactions with restaurants, and so this might be something a city would suggest that restaurants use in order to tackle their food waste problem so that you can get it on a larger scale. So we used several of the sensors. The temperature sensor to determine whether or not something has been put into the refrigerator so that you have a nice passive interaction. You don't have to push any buttons. You just put the thing on your food that's going in the fridge and pop it in there, and when it gets cold enough, it knows that you have put something in the refrigerator. And once you do that, we wanted to tell what's going on with this food. So we'll get it back out, you'll take it out by opening the fridge door. It senses the light using the light sensor to know whether or not the fridge is open so that you're not constantly displaying these lights and burning out your LEDs. So when you get the LED, once you get the temperature, it will...
You have water on your...
Oh, are we demoing?
Well,
I guess we can.
The light went on, so I assume.
Okay.
Let's demo it.
Sorry.
Should I run this again though?
Um,
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna run it. Oh, it says I'm not connected.
Right.
Okay.
So we use the light sensors to tell whether or not we should be looking at something, and we use the temperature sensor to know whether or not it's been put in the fridge, and whether or not it's come out and you've opened it for the first time.
So the light sensor, we just kind of used our hand to mimic like opening and closing the door. And so the light should go on and off based on that. And then we put actual words that say like the status of the food, unopened, open, or
Okay, so
Is it ready?
I think so, yeah.
okay. So sorry. So the temperature, so it should be blue for unopened, and then it was green for open and red for bad. And it should say how many days you have left on this little thing, which I'll pop up.
So right now we're applying a cold pack to drop the temperature.
So the light, this turned blue and it says this is open, and then this is blue, and then when the light, when you cover your hand on this, it goes off.
So when
And then when, when the temperature, okay, so can you see that this says this is open?
No.
No?
No, it doesn't, it's not showing up, but basically you could look at the container and it would tell you, like, this is open and it has this many days left, or it's unopened. And it would be really useful for like leftovers or something too, so that you could stick that in there.
Yeah,
See
so
how
we
many days
got
are left.
the words to populate for like open versus unopened, and we got blue to show up for unopened on this and this. But for some reason, we were struggling with the green light. We couldn't get that to come on, which is why you can't see that this says that it's open. And then the light, this works, like if it's closed, it turns off, and then.
But we were able to get the status to go through to the app, so when the
Yeah.
status changes, the change is reflected in the
So is
app.
that a mobile app? What
Yeah,
is
this is a mobile app with Cordova.
And then what we were talking about for like future state is what? Oh, she's from my hometown. So what we were talking about future state was like in restaurants using the temperature, like so when it's been warm for a really long time, you would send a notification like this is bad. You either need to put it back or throw it out. And then also we were talking about maybe using or having push notifications to the phone, so they don't have to go into the refrigerator and see stuff. And then when you turn stuff off or like use it up, then you would have a grocery list that would populate with this items so that you know what you need to buy because you ran out. You just have to use the sensor. So that's just something.
Is Is the idea that you put the sensors on each item in your fridge to track it?
Yes.
Okay, and then when it's opened or closed, you tell it when you open the thing, or?
When the light, so that's what this light sensor does, is when the door opens, it picks up on the light, and then it makes, like, it will set the lights based on whether it's unopened, open, or bad, and then the message.
Whether or not the fridge is open, or whether or not your
So,
item is.
Your item. So
Okay, so
that,
it's inside of.
So the first time that the item goes into the fridge, it's cold, and that means that you put it in the fridge and it's unopened. That's what we're saying for now, I guess.
Okay.
And then you took it out, it would warm up, and then you'd know that you had opened it and used it. Yeah.
Are you
and then it
still
would change.
programming each sensor then to say what item it is and its expiration date? So the manual input, or how is it detecting
so
that?
that was another future thing, was like, we were kind of hoping to work with the barcode group to be like, okay, these are your items, and then, like, either use like a touch sensor or just say this has been used, you want to attach it to an item from the barcode list so it knows what it is. And then also use like true expiration dates versus like the arbitrary ones we picked for the sake of making this work.
But you could also do just a general one if the user doesn't want to have to like scan things. Like it could just be that like this is leftovers, it'll go bad in a week or something, and just have a standard thing.
You said this was for a
Remind
commercial kitchen, right?
It could be. I mean, that was the kind of idea, like you could put these sensors like on the line where like where people are cooking, because that's where temperature is really important.
It's all more commercial, I think. We could do this.
Yeah, you could do
Yeah.
either,
Yeah.
yeah.
So for a commercial kitchen, you know, they cut things and put them into bins, and then you could do this with like a simple tag, and then you wouldn't have to have one in each bin, one rig on each bin. So it's just something to think about.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.